How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech, and also to our little quick look at the massive ASUS ROG Maximus 13 Extreme Glacial. And this is a big boy. So this is one of ASUS's new motherboards, which is probably, from what we could tell, the most expensive and most advanced current, more consumer grade motherboard that you can get. It's kitted out to the max. Everything that you would need, you get in this board. It's top of the range. I don't think anything actually comes close to this one. And along with that, it has a price tag to match, because it is retailing for around $1,900. That's crazy, around 30,000 Rand. But I think it's also more a bit of a special order, because we couldn't really find it on sale anywhere. We could find it like on Amazon, but that was in Saudi Arabia, and that was also out of stock. So yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, this board, because again, it is massive and heavy and comes inside its own little like carry case. So we're gonna take a look at this board. It's more gonna be an unboxing, because we're not gonna be able to water cool it, even though we do have a new 11900K, which is kind of a bit underkill or unimpressive compared to this board. ASUS over-engineered this board completely for any of the modern CPUs from Intel, so that's unfortunate. But if you want to go full out, then this is the board to get. So we're gonna again take a quick look at it and see what you get inside, and just see how beautiful this thing is for $1,900. So basically, open it up. You get two latches here at the front that opens up this way. You can see the top there. Let's quickly just turn it around. So there you guys can see it is massive, and it actually opens up this way to show you the water block here, which is just, as you guys can see, is massive. Not only covering the CPU, but all of the VRMs there, and also a M.2 here, and then also the chipset down here. Everything designed by EK, get off the fittings and so on. So it's massive, but we're gonna leave that for now. We're gonna first get out the motherboard here, which comes inside its separate section. So we take that out. You can actually still smell that new, like it's that super strong smell. So you do get that strong smell as well. And then here is the board, fully kitted out with pretty much everything that a modern motherboard actually needs. And just check out all of those VRMs, again kitted to the max. Chipset covered here again, because it does cover is being covered by the the water block and everything else. Same with again the VRMs and the M.2. So that's just a quick look at that. Let's quickly just first move on back this side and take out the water block, because this thing is massive and so heavy. So it's a solid piece of nickel and a copper. So you're gonna get, just look at how thick that thing is. So it's going to have no problem cooling any of your components. Again, CPU, VRMs, everything. Putting water through that is going to be a beast. And you do also get a little screen here, 1.77-inch OLED display that'll give you all of your necessary information for your postcodes, your temperatures, and you can also display a little graphic there as well if you want to show some nice custom designs. So let's quickly put this one. I can take this out, I believe. Get this out. So I'm gonna put that towards the side, same with the block, and then take a look at the rest of the nice inclusions that you get. So first up, inside here you do have a fan control unit that does select a feature up to 6 fan connectors, and then also your RGB, addressable RGB. So all of your fans will be able to connect to the controller here, and you don't have to connect everything on the board. So that's actually a very nice addition. Along with that, you do also get this audio DAC, so from your Type C connector to normal your TRRS connection here. You do have a PC mode and then also a mobile mode. So if you want to use it with your phone, which you got right here, you'll be able to plug that in and then kind of connect it and use it like that as well. So you do have that, especially if your mother or if your phone doesn't have audio jack anymore. So you do have that. Next up, we have a very nice addition of a screw set. Well, just the normal screw here, but it's ROG branded, which is cool. And also you do get your Phillips Star head right there. And it's actually pretty decently made. Nice full metal with a lot of grip there. It's nothing really too crazy, but getting a free little screwdriver, and a pretty decent screwdriver at that, it's just a nice addition, especially because you pay so much. So next up, we do have our little DIM.2. Now this is something that you don't really get a lot or see a lot. So you actually, you're able to connect up to 2 additional M.2 SSDs on this card, and then it actually slots in next to the DIMMs here. So that's why it's called a DIM.2. So you connect all of your M.2s on here, and it connects, slides in right there, and looks like a massive memory DIMM slot. So that's a really nice addition. It comes with some nice thermal heat spreaders, so you won't have any problems there. And it just adds towards some additional M.2 storage. So you do have some additional 1 and 2 here, along with this 2. So you get around 4. Nice. Again, don't really see that a lot. Sometimes you get some of them that like stands up straight. I haven't really seen that a lot anymore, but you have gotten that before. So yeah, it's nice to see. Hopefully we can see that a bit more, but again, you do get a very large, extra long XL80X board for that. So next up, we have all of that out of the way. Let's quickly take a look down here. So you get the USB here that has all of your drivers and utilities on, if you quickly want to install everything without needing to go download any of it from their website. So again, nothing too crazy, but it's a nice little addition to make your life easier. Again, same with the screw over there. Then along with everything else, you get a ton of connectors. So you do get your braided, I do like these braided SATA cables, very high quality, especially again for the price point. Get another 2, so 4 right there. Get 6 right there, and then also you get your RGB extender cable. On underneath that, you get some additional ones. So you get your fan splitter. We're gonna go through quite a lot here. Some additional fan splitters, 3, 1 to 4 PWM splitters. You do have your thermal connectors here as well to get some additional temps. You do have your RGB splitter, 1 to 3 addressable RGB 5-volt header splitter, and then also you do get, now let me see. Oh, so this is actually, I'm gonna open this up because why not? So this is actually I'm not sure if you guys can see here on the packaging. It actually is a GPU support bracket. So you have to unscrew it. It's quite a bit tight. Let me get our nice and handy screw right here, and it's be able to adjust to support your GPU. So mounts at the bottom and then support your GPU up there. Some additional features again, which is nice. So you already needed our little screwdriver. So nice handy. So we do have that, and that is it for the bottom section on the left side. Now let's move on towards the right. So you get a thank you for purchasing ROG product. Oh, it's a booklet with your manual, so you do have that. We'll just put that back, and then of course you do get some RGB stickers, which I know Arwan loves. He's not here right now, but he likes the stickers. He'll probably edit this video, so he'll like that. All right, so underneath the booklet there, we get additional stuff. So we have our Wi-Fi and a Bluetooth and antenna here. You do have your front panel connectors right there for easy connecting. Yeah. Along with that, you do have some M.2 screws. Put that aside. You do have some additional motherboard screws, I believe, probably for the water block to screw it in. Some thermal patties right there. You do have some additional screws, more M.2 screws, more M.2 screws, some more thermal pads or just rubber pads, and then more screws. Possibly these are for the water block. And then you do get some very nice thermal gritty thermal paste and a lot of thermal pads for your VRMs. You add those on, and it's going to just help distribute those, diffuse the heat for your VRMs and possibly for your chipset as well. Now again, I'm not going to actually install anything, but the manual will be able to help you with that. It should be pretty simple. Just paste on the thermal pads and you are set for that. So that's pretty much it for everything you get. Again, just a ton of extra goodies that you get alongside the board. We're gonna put all of that back, this side around. And then we're gonna move on towards the motherboard and take a closer look at that. So let's add everything back. All right, so now with all of the goodies out of the way, as we get the motherboard out here so we can make a bit of space, because again, it's so massive. This is a big desk, but there's no space left. You actually get a little screw indicator here, probably on the back of the board, so you'll be able to know exactly where to screw in everything. So there it is, so you guys can see. So then for our motherboard here, it kind of looks a bit naked, as you guys can see. There's nothing going on around here. Usually you have at least a chipset heat spreader and also your VRM heat spreader covering all of that up. It kind of looks a bit naked. But anyway, going on for our CPU, again, this is a LGA 1200 socket, so it supports both a 10th generation and also 11th generation CPUs. Moving on to our VRMs, it is again fully kitted out. Here you get pretty much top of the range. You have a 18 phase, a 9 teamed, a 100 amp power selector with a dual 8-pin 12-volt CPU power input for the Infineon TD a 21490 power stage. So we're gonna go talk about more of the specs and everything. So if you want that information, you do have that at least. Not necessarily for everybody, but some people might actually want to have that. So these are two more phases, also with the 100 amps handling the system agent with the larger PCB format. There's plenty of room to arrange everything here. Again, a lot more space, including the 10K black capacitors up there, and also the microfine aluminum chokes. Now we don't have all of the information regarding all of the in detail specs for the VRMs, but hopefully that is enough for most of you guys. But I think you probably already know that this is going to be maxed out. Anything that's possible now is going to be on this board. So you do have all of that. Now moving on, we do also have 4 memory DIMM slots here, of course, still being covered up here. So for a DIMM slot that does support a max of 128 gigs of DDR4 memory, running up to 5,333 megahertz. So again, fully kitted out currently, and it does also feature ASUS's Optimum 3 tech for a better latency between the DIMMs, and also just the bottom ones are actually open up. So just some information there. Some people like it both sides, but you do have that, and also does feature their more durable, I'm not sure exactly what you call it again, but it does have some metal inside to prevent the board from bending too much. So a bit of support there. And again, of course, your DIMM.2 over here. Moving on towards the side here, let's see if we can get the board out a bit more here. You do actually have all of your 90-degree connections there, which is actually really cool. I really like that. So you do have some of your fan connectors, RGB connectors. You do have your 24-pin motherboard power, and then also additional 8-pin for some additional PCI Express power that we sometimes see. So if you want to supply more power for your GPU, especially if you're running a dual GPUs, then that's going to help out there. Some more fan connectors. You do have your Type-C connectors right here. Some more USB 3.2 connectors, I believe, 2 of them here, and your 6 SATA connectors up at the bottom here. Everything 90 degrees except for the Type-Cs, which is a bit strange. So maybe you don't have a 3.2 Gen 2, I believe, 90-degree connector yet. But along with all of that, you do also have your post LED codes up here, so you'll be able to see what's wrong, along with some some LED indicators here as well, which will light up depending on if something's wrong with boot or hardware issues. So you do also have your indicators here on the sides for everything actually. So this connector up here is for your fan. You do have your start button here, which is nice and handy. You can see everything right there. You do also have your pump connector there, and then also your flex key connector there, along with your additional 5-volt addressable RGB headers there, and everything else which we went over. So that is it for the side there. Then next up, getting into our PCI Express slots down here, you do have 3 of them, which does look a bit limited, but it's pretty much really all that you need, really. So you do have your smaller 4X PCI Express 4 slot, and then also your 2 larger 16X slots. Now, all 3 of them are PCI Express 4, so that is the newer connector, and that depends on your CPU. So the 10th generation CPUs, of course, didn't support PCI Express 4, but then your 11th generations do. So if you want to go get your PCI Express 4 connectors, then you will need to get an 11th generation CPU. But anyway, for all of that, again, you do have your 4X slot here, and apparently on default it is set at only 2X, so you will need to adjust that inside the BIOS, I believe. And then also it does share bandwidth with some of the SATA connectors down here, so depending on if you used it, it's going to disable some of these. Moving on, you do have your full 16X slot here and also down here. But this one is, I believe, a full 16X speed, whereas the bottom one does have a few lesser connectors. So I believe that's only running at 8X speeds. But if you are going to SLI or a Crossfire, then that's going to be enough because it's going to run in both 8 times speed anyway. So that's going to be fine. Then next up, both of these do feature ASUS's safe slot technology, which does keep the GPU in place, and also it does feature their more armorous design, which help prevents the board from bending when you do install a GPU, and also prevents the board from the GPU from sagging if it's a heavy GPU like their ASUS Strix cards. Those things are quite a bit heavy and big, so that's going to help out with that. Then next up for your M.2, so again, you do have this one here at the top, which is located underneath the water block if you do install that. So that's going to keep it nice and cool. And that also runs at PCI Express 4. And that's same with the one down here, which does also support a bit longer one with the 22/110 size M.2 SSDs, whereas that one's a bit shorter. So you do have, again, plenty of storage there, and also up there for your M.2. So plenty of M.2 storage, PCI Express 4. Now, something that I just kind of noticed was that, or wondering about, I'm not exactly sure if the M.2 is actually PCI Express 3 or 4. So I'll just throw it up somewhere around here just to let you guys know if it's a PCI Express 3 or 4. I believe it's probably only 3, but yeah, we'll just let you guys know around here. Then next up for our I/O, we do have an integrated I/O cover here, which looks nice, especially here in the white going alongside the more cleaner look. So at the top, you do get your BIOS flashback button. You do have your clear CMOS button and HDMI port. I probably believe a 1.4, and then you do actually have 8. These are RAID USBs. You get 8 USB 3.2 Gen 2 connectors, so 10 gigabits a second. And then along with that, you do actually have 2 Type-C Thunderbolt 4 USB connectors. So especially if you're a creator, these ones will be pretty handy. We also have like an external Thunderbolt 3 SSD, and we use that quite a bit of transferring data between all of our laptops and so on. So having that here as well as Thunderbolt 3, not 4, but it might actually be handy if we were able to keep the board. Unfortunately not. So you do have that as an option. Then you do also get a 10 gigabit and also a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port. This one is the AXIIC113CS, and this is the Intel i225V. They do have those. You have your Wi-Fi 6E Wi-Fi antennas here, and also with a Bluetooth 5.2, I believe, and all of your audio connectors right here for just a standard amount there. But you do also have some additional audio Supreme FX codecs for ASUS as well, which does help out, and I believe it might actually have their AI noise cancellation as well. I'm not exactly sure about that. I didn't see it, but I have seen it on some of their other boards, so possibly. Now then, as for some of the additional connectors on the board, we already went over the ones here on the side. So here at the bottom, we have some additional ones, and then also more for your overclocking with Alina 2 and so on. I'm not even exactly sure exactly what all of these do, but you do have your flow, W flow for your probably water pump up there. You do also have your 2 PWM headers here for your fan, also for your pump. You have a W out there. You do have your BIOS switch here, a retry button, and also a safe boot button. Especially handy again if you are going to overclock. We can zoom in a bit more there. You do also then have your slow mode switch. You do have your RSVD2 switch or RSVD1, and also your V latch. Again, not exactly sure what all of those do, but if you're a pro overclocker or just an overclocker, extreme overclocker, you'll know what these do. You do also have 2 USB 2 headers here, your RGB headers, your Gen 2 addressable RGB 5 volt header here, and also your normal 12 volt header. You have your additional LN2 jumper node here as well. So you do have all of that. I believe additional connectors up here is just your another addressable RGB header. You do have another fan header up here. I believe this is for your water block sensor that we're going to take a look at now. And that is most of the connectors on the board, I believe. So let's quickly take a closer look at that water block now, and also just put it on the board so we can actually see how it looks. This thing, again, it's heavy. This is probably on its own around like 3 kilograms. So it's massive. So let's see if we can get it on here just to show you guys. I'm not going to fully install it, but just to see how it looks. Kind of something like that. Not perfect, but from top down, you can't really see it that skew. So again, it does cover your chipset here. It does cover your M.2 here as well. It's gonna cool that, and also both your all of your VRMs and also your CPU. So you do have your probably inlet and outlets, depending on which way, and then you do have your again LEDs, OLED screen here for all of your additional information. And then you do have your clear plexiglass here that'll show you all of the liquids. You do again also have your, let's really just open it up for some people who want to see it. You have all of some of your fittings here, probably not all of them, but if you are going to liquid cool, just to quickly go over the pricing again. So this again, $1,900. Then for just a basic water cooling kit, you're looking at an additional $800 for that as well. And that's just a basic kit. We quickly went on EK's website, put in some stuff together, and that was it. So it's not gonna be cheap on its own for a basic water cooling, a loop and everything. And with the motherboard, it's probably gonna be around $3,000. Without a GPU, without a CPU, without storage. So it's gonna be pricey, but if you're looking at this board, you probably already have the cash and you just wanna go all out, and this is definitely going to be the motherboard for you. So you do have all of your fittings over here. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't water cooled before, so I'm not exactly sure where all of these goes, but of course up there should help with all of your leaking. Yeah, I am not a pro water cooler, so take that for what you will. But anyway, this is actually how it looks. Again, it's so heavy. So we get the top down. It's so big and so thick. It's a thick boy. So let's really just get it off again. Oh, that's thick. All right, so quickly going over the block. So this is the EK Ultra block cold plate, which is made out of a pure electrolytic copper that is plated with a nickel to prevent any oxidation. So the coolant actually steers through the milled pathway through here and passes over the CPU, the mid M.2, and also your PCH and also your VRMs, your chipset and your VRMs up there in sequential. So it prioritizes cooling where it's actually needed. It embeds the sensor at the inlet and then also at the outlet, so you do know the temperatures of the water flowing in and the water flowing out, so all of your information there, and it sends that directly into the Fan Expert 4 from ASUS's software to measure all of that. And then you also apparently have some RGB inside here, so you'll probably get some, you can see here at the back, probably see some glow out there and also through there and through there, so adding towards the coolant is going to help that glow nicely. It's massive. I can't get over how big this thing is. So that is pretty much it for our unboxing of the ASUS ROG Maximus 13 Extreme Glacial motherboard. Again, a bit overkill for the current CPUs available. The 10900K isn't necessarily the best CPU. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing possibly a next version on the new Elder Lake CPUs once they actually come out, the LGA 1600 socket, or some of the AMD boards as well. Whew, because I think that's going to work. Maybe Threadripper. I think that'll look so good. Probably is one, but I'll take a look yet. But yeah, it's fully kitted out, top of the range VRM setup. You do have all of your necessary DIMMs. Again, 4 right here, so if you want to hook all of that up for your M.2s, and also all of the needed PCI Express slots, and some just nice additional features like that, again, DIMM.2 up there, and also your 90-degree connectors up there, and just a nice looking massive board overall with extreme overclocking or cooling in mind. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, one of the most expensive things that we actually have taken a look here on the channel. Definitely most expensive motherboard that we have taken a look at. So great job, ASUS. We haven't tested it really, but I can just believe this thing is so good. Again, bit overkill. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this review, please like, share, comment like always. A big thanks to ASUS of Africa for sending the board over for our little unboxing, seeing what the best of the best looks like. And if you guys want to get it for yourself, I'll possibly leave a link in the video description. Not sure if it's going to be available, but hopefully we'll see. Otherwise, maybe just a special order. Contact your local retail or online store. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will check all of you next time. Cheers, guys.